Today we're on the road by 6:40 AM after an early breakfast prepared by Melvin. It's our last long day on the road in our truck. We return to the Namibian border and then down the Caprivi Strip all the way to the border with Botswana and the Chobe National Park. Next day we're up again with the Lark at 5:45, heading straight into the Chobe National Park. We're in two 4x4s as our truck is not allowed in the park. Overnight rain has worked to our disadvantage, as the larger animals have no need to congregate near the water holes, as there are loads of puddles and standing water around. On the plus side, there are plenty of Malibu stork, hornbills, antelope and baboon around. As the sun begins to come up, we find ourselves in the thick of a large group of antelope, who seem quite undisturbed by our presence. The only problem is, just where do you point the camera? Especially when the cheeky baboons start posing. We make a short comfort stop along with a party of American seniors before heading on through the park and a late breakfast brunch. After spending a couple of hours by the campsite pool, we set off at 3 PM for a river trip. It has been threatening to rain all day, and our guide issues us with rain covers just in case. For the moment though, it's okay. Further downstream, the rain comes in for a short while, not that the hippos seem to mind. At every turn we see more birds as well as crocs and water buffalo. At last we reach this group of elephants and spend a long while watching them just splashing around. Finally, we have to make our way back to camp, saying goodbye to a couple of hippos on the way. Next day we go back across the border into Zimbabwe, pick up supplies at Victoria Falls, and then move on towards Hwange Safari Lodges, navigating a few bureaucratic Zambian roadblocks on the way. At lunchtime we stop off at the Painted Dog Centre, and the assistant camera person gets in a bit of practice.
Give your wife a hug and a kiss. On camera, come on.
Wife's not in it at the moment.
She is now.
Aww.
Okay, keep it clean, keep it clean.
After lunch we go to see the dogs. There are only one or two in the centre, and it seems to be a huge project with lots of staff and not a lot happening. However, these unique creatures are highly endangered, with less than 700 in Zimbabwe and another 6,000 or so spread over the whole of Africa. Zimbabwe is one of the few places in Africa where the dogs have a fighting chance of survival. Poaching the dogs for bushmeat is a big threat, and the centre employs a team of wardens to combat this illegal activity. An early start again, this time in 2 4x4s. The park is very beautiful, but unfortunately there's not much around this morning, and we spend a couple of hours traversing the park looking for wildlife. We come across a few giraffe and deserted water holes, where our guide tells us what should be there.
Most of these herbivores, like I'm talking of kudus, I'm talking of giraffes, they like this vegetation around this area.
Later we spy this huge chap ambling down the road. Then, right in the distance, some elephant appear, heading towards a deserted waterhole. Showtime at last. At one stage, a large bull elephant gets a bit too close for comfort, but he soon loses interest and moves back to the others. Ablutions completed, they shuffle off across the park. It is now time to work our way back across the park, where we see more antelope and zebra. Later we catch a rare sighting of eland, the largest of the antelope family. This is shortly followed by this wonderful pair of crowned cranes, and we also have a last farewell from elephant and lion. We are now in Victoria Falls, reading the blurb and preparing to get very wet. Dr. Michael, I presume? The Victoria Falls defy description. So rather than boring you with the statistics about millions of litres of water and all the other stuff, we'll just look at the pictures and let them speak for themselves. Victoria Falls straddles the border between Zimbabwe and Zambia. This road bridge is a busy route between the two countries, and some of our party opted to walk across to Zambia. Next morning, a few of us took the helicopter ride over the falls. And so, after 3 weeks on the road, we've reached the end of our adventures. There are so many memories of sights, sounds, fantastic wildlife, and above all the companionship of a great group of people. So thanks to you all, and who knows, we may bump into each other again someday, somewhere in this amazing world we live in.